toward me, his strides long and lithe, graceful in an almost feline sort of way. He wasn't a classically handsome man, but his rough-hewn features were easy on the eyes, and his body was well-toned without being too muscular. His hair, like his skin, was a rich black, although these days there seemed to be a fair amount of silver glinting through the shaggy thickness of it. He stopped several feet in front of me, his gaze briefly skimming me before resting on the fists clenched at my sides. "I hope you're not going to aim those at me, Risa." "You've already had one good story out of my family," I said, amazed that my voice actually sounded civil. "I'm not about to give you another one." "Really?" The black depths of his eyes were wary, watchful. "Then what do you want?" "Coffee. Although, in all honesty, several large bottles of alcohol, the stronger the better, would probably have been more suitable right then. I might have the constitution of a werewolf, which meant it was damnably hard for me to get drunk, but several bottles would at least soften the haunting sense of loss. Jack raised an eyebrow, but waved a hand toward the small cafe not far up the road. "They make fairly good coffee." "Then let's go." I strode forward, the heels of my sandals clicking on the concrete, a tattoo of sound as fast as my heart. He walked beside me, his familiar wood smoke scent washing over me, raising memories of lazy evenings spent in front of the old log fire in his house, our bodies entwined. Damn it. He used you. I reminded myself fiercely. Remember that, and only that. The automatic fly screen door swished open as we neared the cafe. Inside was shadowed, the air a mix of rich coffee, fried food, and sweaty humanity. The air conditioning obviously wasn't doing a great job at this end of the room. I wove through the tables, heading for one near the back, close to the overhead vent. The rush of cold air had goosebumps racing across my bare arms, but at least it was free of the more unpleasant smells in the space. "So," Jack said, pulling out a chair and sitting down opposite me. "What is this all about?" Instead of immediately answering, I asked, "What would you like to drink?" His smile held a wry edge. "Forgotten already?" "It's been a few years, Jack. People and tastes change. And I wish my tastes had changed. Wished I could honestly say I no longer found him so damnably attractive." "I haven't changed. Not when it comes to coffee, anyway." Meaning he'd changed in other ways? Somehow I doubted it. I punched in an order for coffee and cake for us both, and swiped my credit card through the slot to pay for it. Then I faced him again. "I want a favor." He leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms. "I would have thought I'd be the last person on earth you'd ask a favor of." "You are," I snapped, then mentally clawed back the escaping anger. "But you're the only reporter I know, and you happen to specialize in paranormal and occult news and investigations." "I do." He studied me for several moments, his gaze still wary, as if he'd been the injured party in the whole sordid mess. "And what do I get in return for granting this favor?" "A story that could blow anything else you've written out of the water." Excitement flared briefly in his dark eyes before he managed to control it, but I'd expect nothing less.